What to do? What to do, everybody? This is your boy Darue the Rue. You're on Therapy Hub. We're here to transform the mind and heal the soul. And remember, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to make you think a little deeper. Now, I want to welcome everybody back to the show first and foremost. And today we're diving into one of the most serious things that has been going on in the world. One of the most difficult crises of our era. And this escalating conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran has been causing a complete chaos. Now, we're not just talking about saber rattling here, or far reaching, or this is real military confrontation, okay? And it's far reaching implications for global security, energy markets, and also everyday life. So we got to really think really deeply about that. Now, over the past few months, coordinated military strikes by the US and Israel have targeted strategic military, or sorry, Iranian facilities. And these facilities are including nuclear military sites and etc. Now, Iran has responded with missile and drone attacks, and a crisis has erupted around the Strait of Hormuz, I believe. I think that's in Israel, and that's a choke point crucial to the global oil shipments. So that's why they're actually striking back at this particular place. Okay, now we got to understand that this is not a typical war that's going on. This is something that's over control, and it's over um, money, and really, if you really look at the end of the day, okay. Now, Trump and his um, allies, they will argue differently and say that they're not here to do anything other than protect the country of Israel, and I mean of Iran, sorry, and bring back the people to freedom in Iran. Okay. Now, this isn't a theory that's going on. This is happening now, and it could really reshape the world forever and create a new world order. Okay. Now, I just want to get into a couple points. I got one video that I want to play of the first actual bombing that happened, but for the most part, I want to get into some really important topics and some really important points for us to really think about and to have discussions maybe later on the comment, or with families, or with family or friends. Okay. Now, number one is how we got here, historical and the political background on how we got to this point. Okay. Now, there's been a long standing tension between the US and also Iran. This goes back for decades. This is not something that is new. So, this is something that we have to understand, that this confrontation and this war that's been going on with Iran and US, it's not really a war, but it's been a tension. There's been comments, and there's been threats and things that happened over decades, but nothing really actually took to play until now in 2026. Okay. Now, the whole beef, or the whole issue that Iran and America are having, are only over things that we can see that's evident, but they are not being honest and telling us what it really is. But the real evident, um, the real evident uh, view of all this is the nuclear negotiations. So Iran is not willing to negotiate with America on any type of nuclear negotiations at all. So that causes a conflict, because now America feels somewhat threatened, or they feel somewhat distraught by the fact that they feel that they may be hiding something. The other thing is that the sanctions and proxy conflicts, and also distrust, all that builds. Okay. Now, we have to understand these things, and if you guys know about politics, or if you study about politics, you understand that a lot of politics and a lot of the things that happen with the politics are sanctions and proxy conflicts and also distrust. Okay. Now, recent months saw failed diplomatic talks and a massive U.S. military buildup in the Middle East. Okay. So this is what's been going on. Now, this has been signaling a heightened readiness for conflict because these things are building up. You have failed diplomatic talks because some people are saying, well, do you think war is a better option? Do you think that this could have been solved diplomatically? So this is another question that we have to ask ourselves is that if you think that this could have been solved diplomatically, or if if this could have been solved in any other issue, this is what the bottom point of why I'm saying escalation or justice, because we got to think here. Trump is saying, "Hey, I'm doing something that's right, people. Like, just I'm fighting for your country. I'm doing this for you. I'm going against this regime who is completely bad. They're bullies. To me, Trump, he's a little bit of a bully himself, but he doesn't really seem too much of a bully to me. He seems more like somebody that's standing up for the things that really matter. Okay, in my opinion. However, the way that he's doing things is not the right way. And, we go back to conversations and episodes that we had with ICE and about ICE and things that transpired with the ICE. That caused a whole war and a whole battle with people and hatred and murders, killings, actually, with people within his own country. So you got to think about some of the things that conflict, and we're going to get into that as well very quickly, is back to even being diplomatic, is conflict. Does conflict actually solve anything versus, like, because most countries believe in defense. Most countries believe that in order to save their country, or in order to not be bullied, or to have power. That's what it is, mainly to keep control and to have power. Okay, so most countries, when they feel that they need to have power or they need to remain in power, they use defense. So that's what's been going on in the world for years, hundreds of years, and why countries are able to maintain armies and militaries and do things like that because of defense. Okay, so we got to remember this. Two, current flashpoints. Okay, so remember this: joint U.S. and Israel, joint U.S. and Israel, they both strike Iran together. Iran's by themselves. Iran could have allies. I believe there are some talks maybe with China, Russia, and a few other places that are actually against America. But to see that happen, we don't know yet. But we do know that the US and Iran are teaming up together. Okay. Now, Iran's retaliation has included missiles and drone attacks, and they also hit a couple US bases. They also hit some allied states. So I think Dubai got bombed and a few other places got bombed. And they spread the tension beyond Iran's borders. So they never just kept it with Iran. They said, hey, look, um, or sorry, with US, they said, hey, look, we're taking it to whoever wants to be involved with the US as well. So, these things are very, very important for us to understand and for us to really take accountability for, or sorry, to take account for. We don't have to take accountability. We're the take account. Now, diplomacy versus escalation. Okay. Diplomat diplomatic situations versus escalation. My bad. Now, while warm war looms, okay, very largely, very vastly, international diplomatic efforts and mediators still push for negotiation and de-escalation and parallel with the fighting. So it's not like these things are happening and everybody's just sitting back and watching them, blow each other up. People are actually still trying to get involved with uh, trying to de-escalate this situation. Now, I have a question to ask the viewers. We're not live today, but if you were live, then I would put the questions on the screen. But um, I have a question to ask the viewers, and please put it in the comments if you can. And one of the questions I really want to ask is this really doing a job for justice, or is this causing an escalation for a bigger war? And what I mean by that is people don't like to be bullied. As you see, Donald Trump is basically stating that the people of Iran, or the people who are running Iran, the leaders of Iran, are bullying the people of Iran. Now, there may be some people that in Canada and the US who have fled, are fled, sorry, from certain things that have happened in Iran. There was a lot of situations that happened in Iran with the women not having to wear hijabs, or having to wear hijabs and things like that, and covering themselves up and things like that. So the ones that are here in Canada or the US, they may be standing for Trump. Now there are some I'm not going to play it, but there were some video footages, you can watch them on YouTube, where you actually see people um in Canada and the US with Iranian flags saying justice have been served. And this leader, he's murdered. And I apologize, I don't know his name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I'm going to sound like an idiot, but um, the leader of Iran, we'll just call him, he um, was murdered. And Donald Trump made it very clear. He said, look, we're going to get you. And if you continue to create a issue, or to make it look like you guys want a war, then we're going to wipe you off the face of this earth. Now, to see that Israel had the power, and he watched Israel, he even pleaded for Israel to stop bombing Palestine. I don't know if you guys remember that. But when Palestine was bombing Israel, Donald Trump pled. He pled. He pled. He said, "Guys, all right, this is like, this is crazy. Like, you guys are tearing shit up." So I think he got in his idea where he said, "Whoa, Israel can really do some damage here. We got to work with them, and we got to fill our corners, and we got to continue doing what we're doing." It's also something that's been going on for years. You got to remember, America's always been supporting and paying for Israel since the Holocaust. That's been something that they've been doing. They've been allies for years. So to see them not be allies have to be something dramatic happen, and I don't see that happening with any presidency, not even Donald Trump, any presidency. Anyhow, moving on. What I really want everybody to really dive in and dig in to at the end of this whole segment of this episode here is to think about the price that we have to pay as civilians and as citizens when the government acts in such a rage to always want to destroy versus fix, or to de-escalate. Now, this is back to what I was saying with um, you know, finding out why are we like, what are we doing here? Are we going to de-escalate in this situation? Can we just de-escalate a situation? Or do we always have to be defensive when it comes to war? There are some certain things where you are triggered. I was just triggered recently. But by the grace of God, I kept my composure and I just voiced myself versus having a physical reaction. And it happens to me all the time, actually. But I have to say one thing, and our ask one thing as well is, can the people, us, do we understand what? Because I see comments on social media when people are engaging in this. Yeah, bomb them. Yeah, America's great again. And it's like, do you realize how many people are being affected by this? This is a mental thing. This is why I'm putting this on Therapy Hub, because this is a very mental breakdown for society. And it should be, because the behavior of the government, and we're going to be talking on Thursday about another police officer, because remember, we're doing investigations on police officers charged for numerous of crimes. And there's another police officer that's been charged recently. And we're going to be talking about that as well. But it's like, these are the things that I'm talking about. And it's the therapy, and the mental breakdown that it's causing humanity. And some of the things that we participate in and some of the things that we indulge in, and we wonder why we are going through certain things. And it goes for myself as well. Okay. So we can start there. All right. But we got to remember that, you know, I listen, I tried. There's some people that you can talk to, and there's some people that you can't talk to. There's some people where you kind of have to ruffle the feathers a little bit for them to understand and get where you're coming from. That I get. But there's a way of doing it. I think and this is a topic that I have always said to myself, okay? Is our This is always something that I've always said to myself. Why do these guys leave innocent people? First of all, Donald Trump, Mr. Trump, you say that you want to free the Iranian people again. So why are you bombing innocent people? You're a murderer. You're killing innocent people. You're a murderer. These people are bloody murderers. And they're doing it right in front of our eyes. And like it's okay. The minute somebody does something on the street, they're going to jail. Like, what? They're doing the exact same thing, but even worse, because they're killing dozens and dozens of innocent people. So, as people now, we got to think, hey, guys, look, what are we supporting here? What are we supporting? Are we supporting murderers, monsters, predators? Are we going to support real people that are trying to make a change in the community, real people that are going to protect the community and that are going to be there for the community and educate the community? Like, what are we doing? Everybody's worried about the wrong things. This war in Iran is a whole nother story. And we're thinking, okay, well, they did Iraq and nothing really happened and yada, yada, yada. But that was the beginning. Iraq, Afghanistan, this is all the beginning. That was all the beginning. This is now coming to the end. They saved the worst country to go against. They knew Iran had the worst nuclear weapons that they could possibly. They needed a president like Trump, and they needed somebody that knew a president like our a prime minister like what they have in Israel to do what they're doing now, and they did it. This is all planned. It's all planned. Now, what I want to see is who's next in power after Donald Trump and what happens after that, because I'm tired of seeing the same stuff over and over and over again. It's just, Donald Trump to me is a modern day version of Bush, but 10 times worse, little less racist. I honestly don't think Donald Trump's racist. I just think he could be racist actually. But I think he has an understanding to people's culture and he understands certain things, but he just doesn't want certain people around. That's all. Like if you're from a different country and you're a good civilian, I don't think he has a problem with that. I would hope not, Mr. Trump. But that's my opinion. My opinion is kind of balanced with the escalation of the justice because, like I said, if you want to get even with somebody, you don't do it that way. There's a lot of ways to get even with somebody and in a more strategic way than killing innocent people. That's one. Right? I'm not for killing the innocent and killing children and kids and family. I'm not for that. I think that to me, I think that's nonsense. You know what I mean? I think that you're a bloody murderer if that's the case and you don't deserve to be in power. How can you be a leader and you're doing this? Now, to his defense, he's taking out what he can and he striked bases and military. He did military, he attacked military bases and places that, civilians weren't really there. Cool. Let's watch this video. This is the first bombing. I believe some of these are Israel and Iran, but the first one was Iran. And like they're look at they're bombing towns. They're in towns. Look at people are riding their motorcycles, living their everyday life, and boom, a bomb. Like I couldn't imagine. Anyways, I think it's just gonna be the same video over and over and over again. But yo, this is crazy. Like, there's a lot more videos that we can show, but for me, it's like it's depressing. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know what to say about this situation, but as Canadians, we're also, they're supporting U.S. of course, and they're supporting Israel. So, but we're not there with any troops or anything like that. So that's good. I think that we can stay out of harm's way in that sense. Um, but they are supporting them as far. I don't know, but how can you support them if you're not sending any troops there? Like, what are you doing? Like, oh yeah, we support them. Like, I don't know. Like Canada, just stay out of it. If you're not gonna go to war or anything, just shut up. Stay out of it. Like, leave it on your own. These guys already disrespected you, punked us off for tariffs, and you're gonna stand there and talk about you support them. Who cares? Leave them. They want. And back to my point, right? These countries, they want to bomb each other. Go to a place. All right. You guys got tons of bunkers, tons of islands, and I hope you guys are all listening to me. Okay. You got tons of bunkers, tons of islands, tons of stuff. All right. Go to a place where you have all that area and that space to yourself. Call all the troops in the world that you got. Okay. And bomb the hell at each other. Call it a heyday. Shoot each other's heads off, bomb, do whatever you guys want, but don't do it in harm's way. You teach the people the same thing to do when innocent people are shot and there's brazen shootings in the street. You're going to encourage people to, to be careful, and that's unbelievable, and innocent people are being shot. It's the same thing with this war that's going on. It's the same thing. Diplomatic approach, diplomacy. Okay, this is what we need. We need more diplomatic um, conversations and more um, problem solving and conflict resolution when it comes to things like that. Like, this is insane. Like, you cannot tell us that people are as crazy as you guys are. Like, that is this after this war, it just goes to show me that Donald Trump needs some therapy himself, I believe. Mr. Trump. Now, I just want to end it off with saying I could also be wrong, because Trump could also be right, and he could be really going at this nuclear bomb, because the thing is, why do you have a nuclear bomb? Right? Okay, fine. That's a threat. So it is a security issue. But where are you taking this nuclear bomb, and what are you going to do with it? Are you just going to leave it somewhere? Like, how are you getting rid of the problem? So to me, it seems like you're stealing and you're robbing. And when you're doing to oil tanks and things like that to me seems like stealing and robbing. Please drop it in the comments if you agree with me, yes or no. Anyways, I want to just, before I leave, I just want to shout out to my sponsor. He is incredible. The best pet store in all of Toronto. He's located in East York. Bark and Scratch Pet Foods Limited. You can use the promo code AMPTV for 10% off all supplies, only for a limited time. Hurry. They are available on Uber Eats, but you must visit the store to get your 10% off. Okay. Now, also, if you need a tutor after school program for your teenage children, we have the place for them to go. Visit mortgagefoundation.ca for more info on enrollment for your child or for volunteer opportunities. They're always looking for volunteers there. All right. So once again, shout out to the Marlin Mortgage Foundation and Bark and Scratch Pet Foods, where you can get 10% off by using the promo code AMPTV, and they're located at 2404 Danforth Road East, in between Maine and Woodbine. All right. Now, the next episode, we're going to break down who really benefits and who really suffers most from a conflict of this scale. I think this is something that we could talk about in the next Therapy Hub episode, because this can help with other conflicts that we may be having or that we may have encountered over the weeks or even before we do our next episode. Now, we're going to dig really deep into economical fallouts. Okay. We're going to talk about the role of regional actors and what they do. Okay. And also why this matters to you. Why does this war matter to you, and why are you affected? All right. I thank everybody for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next show. Peace and love.